You are forgiven. You ready? How do you
ready.
say your last name?
Van Tuyl.
Tuyl. I've been calling you Tuyl.
Everyone
Van
has.
Tuyl.
Yeah. It's very common.
All right, here we go.
All right, buddy. Let's do it to it. Me, my mo, moo, mo. How now, brown cow?
Now, brown cow. now, brown cow.
Scotchy, scotch. I love scotch.
3 bottle right 3.
The arsonist had oddly shaped feet.
How many wood can a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck chuck of wood? What? Nope.
Almost.
How much wood can a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck chuck wood?
There it is. Wood. I'm ready.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. Episode number 2. I got David Crow, the drummer from Nirvana and the lead singer of Foo Fighters. No, I'm kidding. This is good buddy Derek. We call him Doc. I called him Van Tuyl, but it's what is it?
It's Van Tuyl.
Derek Van Tuyl. He's not a painter, but he could be, or a drummer, or a singer.
Do
you play instruments at all?
I can play a few, but I'm not very good at any of them.
So I heard somebody had told me that you were pretty decent at a piano.
Halfway.
Huh?
I played as a kid, and then I didn't have a piano for 20-something years, and found a cheap one.
I have a piano. We can try this theory out and see how good you are.
I have one in my garage. I can't bring it over here, though.
No, I can bring mine. Mine's in the garage.
Oh, okay.
My garage, not yours.
Oh.
So anyways, if you checked the last episode, we had the Bearded Vet on. Shout out to the 5 people who watch it. I appreciate you more than you know. Now there was quite a few views. I mean, I'm no Joe Rogan or
Not
Theo
yet.
Vaughn, but
You're
maybe
working on it.
one day. But actually, it's a cool story how me and Doc met. I told y'all last week, long-haired dude looked like Lieutenant Dan, but he has legs. So I'm gonna let you. I told a shorter side of that story.
Uh-huh.
So you tell what you remember of it.
All right. So I get to tell my side of the story now?
Yep, you get to tell your side of the.
All right. Once upon a time, many years ago. No.
Many years ago.
Many months ago, a mutual friend of ours, Kathy Mullins, whose son unfortunately passed away in Afghanistan, so she's pretty heavily involved in the veteran community here locally and around the area. She invited the two of us, unbeknownst to each other.
Yeah, I had no clue who he was.
I know who you were, but she did tell me about you maybe the night before the meeting, I think. She was like, there's this guy, Brian Basham, coming. You got to meet him.
Thanks, Kat.
And I was like, okay. So I go to that very first meeting. We're listening in, and there were definitely some things about that meeting. I think you and I had some mutual similar feelings about.
Mutual disagreements.
Yes. And
not all of it, but
yeah, I mean, it wasn't all bad, but it was a learning experience for the both
sure.
of us.
Yeah.
And I think it really, each of us separately, once we got to talking afterwards, we really had the same idea, the same mission, the same kind of focus and drive. Just two separate people, and we got brought together by this one meeting. And then I kept him probably an hour after the meeting talking and made him late for something because you said you had to go about, 28 times.
Yeah, it was probably back to my wife.
Yeah.
I have a curfew.
Yeah. So I definitely made you late for that, but we had a really good conversation at the VFW that night. And you had your idea about coffee with veterans.
Mm-hmm.
And we went from there. But it was all from that very first meeting. It's a local organization that is supposed to bring all the VSOs together, and according to their Facebook description or whatever, that they're supposed to put out all information for vets locally and any new legislation and stuff. That's what I finally looked it up, and that's what their little Facebook, the Davis County Veterans Organization.
Oh yeah.
So that's their mission. Good. But we discovered that evening. I don't want to speak ill of this group, but I think they've lost focus on their mission. And so,
well, yeah, but I think with different minds and different thought processes. That's a hard word.
Processes. Yeah.
I have a list, so it really shows up in that word. But I think with I don't even know where I was going with that, but I just think with me and yours and the other people that are in the vet group, I think we have the same, like-minded people. That's
Absolutely.
what we want. So,
yeah.
but I think we're veteran driven.
Absolutely.
Right?
100%.
And we want to get the veterans in the community, but I think we're veteran driven first.
Yes.
Like make sure the veteran is right, make sure the veteran is good.
Make sure our brothers and sisters are taken care of,
Yep.
and then we can, do good in that. And also, once we take care of our mission first, then we can help other local entities, that
Yep.
don't deal with veterans.
Yep.
But we can get good veterans together to help these things.
And my story was similar. It's not in depth as you went in, but
I told you I'm a talker.
he is a talker. So basically, what I said is we met. We sat at the same table, weirdly enough, and then afterwards, we had some like-minded stuff, some stuff
Yep.
that we wanted to get accomplished with veterans, and then I remember you telling me, it's like, man, I've been wanting to do this for a long time.
Absolutely.
And then I was like, well, let's do it.
Let's do it. Let's pull the trigger, man.
Let's do it and see where it goes. So I think it's going pretty good. I mean, we've had our first big event, kind of our, here we are event. I quit saying coming out party because I got so much flack for it.
Yeah,
I'm
I
not
could imagine.
coming out. I'm staying in. But
the big reveal.
yeah,
here.
but the Walk for the Fallen
Yes.
was Vet's kind of first thing. Man, our Facebook was blowing up.
Yeah, absolutely. There's so many
For that.
shares, and
Yeah.
I mean, because right on the front page of the paper, they said, the interview I had before the walk said vet to sponsor whatever,
Yeah.
and then the one they published afterwards is vet holds annual
Yeah.
Memorial Day Walk for the Fallen. So it was vet first, and
Very
then we went
big,
from
yeah.
there.
I tell you what, we're going to show some pictures of it right here, right there.
There it is. Check them out.
So as they're looking at the pictures as we're talking,
Yeah.
it might not work. You might just see us.
We'll figure it out.
Yep. But it was real cool. Like, we had a big flag, and everybody's walking the flag down Veteran Boulevard. The really cool drone footage that came out.
That was awesome.
I'll show that too, right here.
There it is.
So as you're looking at that, but it was kind of cool to see it and to see the involvement of the community. And I know it was, you kind of headed the event, but I mean, it just felt good. Like, anybody that has been a part of it and just seeing where it started to where it is. I mean, it was an amazing feeling.
Even more so, a little on my side of that, and I talked about it that day, is how this actual walk started as a very private, very close to my heart event that I did for my healing and as a way to honor my friends that I lost. And now it's grown into this huge community event, and people from all over. First of all, walked with us. We had Pennsylvania, Georgia, Fort Campbell, and a guy from Texas.
That's crazy.
Just happened to be in Owensboro at the VFW the night before. They told him about it, and he joined us for it.
And this was 7 years ago when you started this?
Actually, 9 years ago,
9 years ago.
is when the very first walk I did, but it wasn't on Memorial Day. And then it was after that I was like, maybe I should just do this on Memorial Day, because that's the day that we honor our fallen brothers and sisters, instead of me doing these walks.
Different days.
Yeah, different days on different anniversaries.
And then, so tell us about, like, how it all started for you, like where you're from and what made you decide, I've already heard this story, but why don't you tell them just a little kiddie version of how you joined the military?
Yeah, real quick and to the point. I'm originally from Buffalo, New York, and
Shout out Buffalo.
woohoo, go Bills!
You know any people from Buffalo that's on Facebook that'll watch this?
Oh, I'll tag them in it.
Yes. Shout out
I'll
Buffalo.
tag the Bills Mafia in this.
Hey, we got a table. out here. You want to go through a table?
Not the way
Not-
my
not
back
right
is
now.
feeling.
Yeah, we have to
Eventually,
wait a couple
we'll wait
weeks.
till football season starts.
We'll promise you a table video.
Heck yeah. But so being from Buffalo, home state New York, when September 11th happened, that was my moment. I knew I had to do something, and I didn't know what, but in my mind I was like, I think the military would be a good fit for me. I was a bit of a troublemaker, as we've talked privately before.
I like how you pointed at me like I'm a part of that group.
No. We talked about it, though.
Yeah,
so
we
you
did.
you know the history, but
They
So, yeah, I was a bit of a troublemaker, and I thought the military would be a good fit. And me at the time, being an avid competitive swimmer, my first choice was the Navy. There was no other branch that I even considered, because I thought, Navy, I'm a great swimmer. They deal with water. Boom, perfect. Now that I've been around Navy, active duty,
water,
and
you're doing something wrong.
Yep, you're wrong.
Yeah.
So my skills would never have come in handy. But yeah. So again, got in a little bit of trouble before the Navy wanted to ship me out, and they said, "Why don't you try another branch?" So Army recruiter called me because I was a senior in high school. He was just doing his job, and I told him my little backstory, and he said, "Why don't you come down to the station and we can chat?" And the rest is history. I joined as a combat medic, went to Fort Benning for basic, went to AIT at Fort Sam Houston, went active duty at Fort Hood, and I got real lucky because I came in right after they had caught Saddam. So they had just caught him. So when I was getting ready to go to basic, I was like, "Oh, damn, man, the war's over."
Yeah,
like,
what am I going to do?
Yeah, what am I doing? Little did I know that within 10 and a half months of the day I arrived to basic training, I would have boots on the ground in Kuwait.
That's crazy.
So, yeah, that went by really quick because if anyone knows, medic AIT is a couple months. So, yeah, got to Fort Hood and shipped out to Iraq within 30
Not
days
saying
of
you're
getting
a doctor, but I mean, you got to know some like quick stuff, like
a few
in
things.
the field. And I guess once you become an officer and you go into that field, that's where the doctors and stuff come in. But with
Absolutely.
the medics, like if you're out in the field or
It's quick and dirty.
or whatever, it's quick, and you got to be quick on your feet.
And I'll tell you, it's one of those, I'm sure every MOS in the military is the same. You learn more as time goes on, but I feel like as a medic, I was thrown right into the fire. I mean, 30 days, it was about 120 days from graduating AIT before I was in Iraq. So there was no time for me to really get additional skills. It was getting to my unit, getting acclimated, all of us training together, getting ready to go overseas, learning my unit's policies and procedures, packing FLAs, how they do things, as I was in a medevac unit, and just learning ground ambulance stuff and what our job was specific to the unit. And so I didn't have time to learn additional medical skills. So I went fresh from AIT where, I mean, we learned the basic of the basic.
Like sticking needles in your foot.
Yeah. And then, boom, I was in Iraq just thrown in the fire doing it full time. And
that's crazy. See, I joined in 2001.
Yeah.
February 1st, 2001. And then went through basic AIT. And mine was artillery, so it wasn't really that long. And then I went right to my unit. And I probably got there, I can't do math, so July, August, somewhere around there.
Okay.
And it was a couple months before September 11th. And I remember I was up in the barracks and I was sweeping because we had to clean the barracks every morning. And somebody, Bombita, if you're watching Bombita, shout out to you. He was in there ironing his clothes and he's like, "Guys, you got to come see this." And we walked in, we saw the plane, the first plane.
Yeah.
And we're like, "Man, it's crazy." Like, we're making up stories, like the pilot got drunk, whatever, and he missed a turn and all this stuff. And then out of nowhere, the second plane hit. And as soon as that second plane hit, we all looked at each other like, it's about to go down.
Yep.
Like
that's no accident.
Not even 20 minutes went by and we got called down to formation. It was like, "Hey, if you got family in New York, call them right now."
That's crazy.
It was nuts, man. And then we trained for 2 more years before we actually got deployed.
Wow.
So I'm gonna have to stop this dog real fast. So when you went to Kuwait and Iraq first. Tell them about that deployment, like how that went.
I'd say that deployment was, I don't want to say easy, but it was scary because obviously I was brand new to the military and then brand new to combat. So any movie or newscast that I'd watched up until that point, I thought I was going to get off the plane and just bullets flying everywhere and I'd just be right in the middle of the shit. And I wasn't. So it was a lot more calm than I expected it. But when I was there, it was the literal calm before the storm. We got, December of 2014, and we were in Kuwait. We did 2.5 weeks there before we went up to our base in Tikrit. We were at Fob Spiker, and at the time it was one of the northernmost bases in Iraq. We had trouble getting supplies because the convoys were getting to us. And our unit was really weird because we were, like I said, a medevac unit, but we had ground ambulances and air ambulances. So we had half of us were, crew chiefs and flight medics, and then the other half were we were 91 Whiskeys at the time, but we were just medics. And then we had a little battalion aid station to run out at the airfield, and then some of the ground medics, we didn't have a mission. So when we fell in on Iraq, it was like at that time all they cared about were the dust off. So just getting the birds out, picking guys up, getting them back to safety. So the ground guys, they were like, we don't know what to do with you guys. And eventually after some trial and error, some of us did rotations at the cache on the base, and some of us went out, on kinetic missions, going all over the place, helping where we could. So it was just we would fall in on a unit that needed help, and then we'd hang with them for a week, 2 weeks, and then go back to doing what we're doing. Probably one of the coolest things about that deployment is myself and 3 other medics from my unit got attached to British and American engineers.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
And we traveled all of southern Iraq. And when I say all of southern Iraq, I mean northern Kuwait to just south of Baghdad. And we would just do round robins. Their job was to do geospatial referencing. So they were just mapping terrain. These guys were out of Fort Bragg, and their main job was building airstrips. That was their mission. But we weren't actively building, airstrips in Iraq. We were surveying the damage on what airfields were there from like the initial invasion and all that. And then we were just doing terrain mapping. So we would go out in Land Rovers and Humvees. In the middle of nowhere, we'd plug in a GPS coordinate, and the road would end, and we would just baja through the desert. Get to where we needed to be. We'd circle the wagons, set up the big guns.
Cool like that.
And these guys, it was all the engineers doing the work. I was just there to sleep. I mean, there's plenty of pictures of me sleeping from that deployment. I'm just in a little folded chair, and you see the guys in the background working, and I'm just racked out. I'm like, you can't have Doc.
Good. Yeah, that's good though. You
can't have Doc having heat stroke out here trying to take care of someone.
Did you ever eat at like any one of the chow halls that you went to down out there in Iraq? The Philippines, like Filipino cook for you?
We had, I don't think so, no.
I can't remember what base it was. If anybody knows, put it in the comments. But there was a base at the Filipino National Guard or something, and they were cooks, and it was amazing. Like, because we've been eating MREs the whole time, and then we get this, and it's like, oh my god! I mean, and it was just like fries and burgers and stuff.
But it was amazing.
The Filipinos know how to cook some burgers and fries. So it was super good. But that's just one thing, and we talked about it before. But I was over there when the Code Red. Is it Code Red Mountain Dew?
Oh, yeah, the Mountain Dew Code Red. Yes.
And the orange flavor, and we got our hand on those. We probably stole them, but we used to. There's a trick, and everybody was over in Iraq and Afghanistan. I don't know if they did it in Vietnam or not. I don't know who learned it, but it passed through generations. But you get a sock, you put your soda pop. What do you call it? Soda pop, or you?
Yeah, I'm a soda kid now.
Soda.
It was pop growing up. Now,
you put it in your sock. You get the sock wet with water. You hang it to your side mirrors, and you roll down the highway there. And then once you get to your location, I mean, it's like 5-10 minutes. It's not long.
Yeah.
You pull it out, ice cold.
Yep.
Ice cold.
Like slushy status.
That's
all we do. You should.
So
see
I don't know where
pictures.
That came from because
It's
I mean
genius.
I did it like there's a Sergeant Sheehan. He was old as dirt when I was in. He's probably still in the military, but he was in for like 25 years. But he's the one that
he taught you guys.
Kind of taught us. So
That's awesome.
I mean they had to have it in Desert Storm.
I'd imagine
someone
somewhere
I think he was in Vietnam too. Like he was
that sounds about right.
So old, but I still have yet to try it coming back stateside.
You're going to see me driving down the highway in a week or two with a water bottle tied to a sock on
I
my
also have ice cubes at my disposal.
Right.
Money, bud. I got it. But, yeah, that's one of the cool things that I remember, like, from being over there.
Absolutely.
And we were there when they first got the PXs.
Okay, yeah.
Like, we were in the desert, right? When we first got there was nothing. we're at Camp Anaconda.
Okay.
And
that was just south of Spiker. Yeah.
So that's where we were based out
So
of.
you guys had a swimming pool.
We did, but when we first got there, it wasn't up. So when we got there, we were literally on the dirt in a circus tent with cots. So we didn't have it that good yet. That took about 6 or 7 months. And then they got the swimming pool.
Yep.
And it was like Olympic-style swimming pool.
I remember the high diving boards and everything.
Yeah, the first day that it was open, there was a ton of people outside waiting to get in. So we all get in, and the water was like blue. It was pretty.
Yeah.
And then we all get in, and by the end of the night, brown. Straight brown. People living their best life in brown water. Like,
man.
yes, this is the greatest. And it was good times, though, man. But we got PX. I mean, I bought a mattress to put on my cot.
Heck yeah.
Like, it was so
those little thin ones.
So bougie, man.
Yeah.
But it was so comfortable. And you know what being in Iraq taught me? That I could survive on little to nothing and make do with what I got, kind of things.
It's absolutely. But before I joined the military, I mean, great parents, great upbringing.
Yeah.
I was well off. I didn't have to want for anything. And joining the military, though, it humbled me.
Yeah.
I mean, a little kid from New York, I already had a mouth on me, so I know I could handle my own and do what I needed to do. But as far as I had, I did Cub Scouts when I was a kid. And I did, I like to go camping with my dad, and we put up tents. We didn't go to cabins. But I never knew how much I could handle until the military, especially Iraq.
Well, you're away from your family. So.
And then he had, like triple fold in Afghanistan. That you want to talk about roughing it. And I was in Afghanistan in 2008. Our military had been there since 2001. And the base I went to had nothing.
Yeah. Still.
And when I say nothing, I mean, we were just talking about it when my buddy came down and talking about how insane it was that we had nothing. I mean, we were getting solar camp showers sent to us, just those little black bags.
Yeah, little blacks. Yep.
We had those sent to us so we could take showers.
That's nuts.
Because we didn't. Like, each guy asked, girlfriend, wife, spouse, whatever, to send him a camping shower. So eventually we had 5 or 6 bags hanging up on the HESCO barrier, and the guys built this little makeshift 2-stall shower with a poncho as a shower curtain. I mean, we made it work, but
we had a shower trailer.
Yeah, we didn't.
The engine, I don't know where we got it from, but they backed it up in there. It had like 4 or 5 showers in it, and we walk up the stairs like a camper.
Yeah.
And get in the shower bay and shower. But
now at the big base, we had all that stuff, but Afghanistan was just.
Well, yeah, that was it, because we stayed at some little ones like Camp Cedar, and there's a Camp Cedar too, I guess. I don't know, and I don't know if there's that was the names that we named them, but anyways,
because I know when I was there, it was
in the middle of nowhere.
It was Fob Spiker, and then there were guys that came after me, and they kept calling it Cobb Spiker.
Yeah, so I think they just changed it. But Cedar started from nothing. It was just out in the middle, had 4 watchtowers on it, and some trailers. And I remember we were out there, and basically we were out there for like, I think I said this last time, but the trucks, the convoys, we would watch the convoys.
Security?
Yeah.
And
check and see if there's no IDs or and all that stuff. But
Yep.
anyways, there's a semi-truck that got blowed up. So we poured it into our base, and we opened it up, and it was full of food. So we were kings.
Oh, dang.
We were kings. I think I mentioned it on the first episode, but
it's always nice.
It was a big memory,
like
and I'm going to keep it.
There you go.
Because it's a good one.
It's a good one, yeah.
So you went to Iraq once, Afghanistan once?
Yep, came home from Iraq in fall of 2005, and then we came back. Our unit disbanded because the Army was going to BCTs. And so our unit, they were like, we're done. We're sending the air ambulance units out to the BCTs. Ground ambulance units are gone. And everyone else left over is going to the cache.
Are you struggling with ambulance?
Ambulance.
Ambulance.
I swear I can speak.
Word.
When you're trying to say it multiple times, it gets hung up.
Ambulance.
But yeah, so we came back stateside, and then most of us got sent to our brigade because the battalion was gone, and they weren't going to reassign us to the hospital. So most of us got reassigned to brigade headquarters or the 2 caches. And I got lucky enough to go to brigade headquarters because the brigade headquarters was deployed to Kuwait. Like, we came home, they left maybe a week or 2 after we got home. So brigade headquarters went to Kuwait for a year, and I ended up as a new E4, being the lead instructor for the combat lifesaver course at the brigade level, and then also at the same time I was the school's NCO as a
E4.
as a E4.
Yeah.
Because all other people were in Kuwait, so someone had to step up to the plate.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did that for 2.5 years, I think.
Well, when
before,
you're an E4, you think you can do everything anyway, so.
I mean, I did it. It was fun. Honestly,
I've never met a specialist that didn't have that mentality.
They don't exist.
I can do what you do.
Yeah. And but we want the rank and the pay for it. That's the only thing.
Yeah.
Because you get no respect, you just get all responsibility.
None. Like, you might be the smartest and the most high-speed soldier out there.
Yeah.
And but you're still getting paid E4 pay.
No, and they don't respect you. No one listens to you. But that was a cool experience.
Hey, you know what's worse though?
What?
Being a corporal. Because
Yeah.
you still don't get paid.
Because then you're right in between.
Yeah,
and
you still don't get paid. They do have to listen to you somewhat, but you still don't get paid
then
for
the
it.
other NCOs don't listen
No,
to you. They don't care about
respect
you. They're like, you're an
still
E4.
You're still an E4.
Yeah, it's funny looking stripe you got there,
Yeah.
specialist.
You missed some stripe, bud.
Yeah.
Shut up.
But that was fun. That's when I realized I really liked teaching and instructing, because they put me as the lead combat lifesaver. So 40-hour class. I was doing them, I think 2 a month. So 2 out of 4 weeks was spent instructing. They sent me and another person to Goodfellow Air Force Base, where there was some little contingent of Army guys. I don't know what they were doing at Air Force Base, but there was a small unit there.
Being smart.
Yeah, and I got to go to an Air Force Base and teach CLS for a week.
Wow,
that was awesome.
So you lived in luxury.
It was real. I had some really cool opportunities being an instructor.
Yeah.
I got to teach
Air Force, man.
a 2-star general.
I tell the story all the time. My dad, when I first joined he taught a 2-star general.
Yeah, he went
That's
through my combat
awesome.
lifesaver course.
My dad, when I first joined, I called him and said, hey, I'm joining the Army. He's like, you should join the Air Force. It's a lot easier. And I was like, forget you.
Yeah.
I'm joining the Army.
Yeah,
And,
I know what I want.
But he knew what he was doing.
Yeah. That's how we get out, and we always, it's hindsight is 20/20 for sure.
Oh,
We're
I
like,
know.
man.
But I mean, I respect them all.
Oh yeah.
All the branches. I mean, you got to, once you're out, but once you're in, nope.
It's it was cool because I got to work with the coalition in Iraq.
Mm-hmm.
So being with the British troops, and we would go to all the coalition bases. So we would never, which was really fun. We were kind of lawless for those few months. We spent time at an Australian camp down in southern Iraq, Camp Smitty, and then we were at Camp Mitica, which was an Italian camp.
Nice.
So here we were, just a little small unit of Americans and
Traveling
Brits,
the world.
and seeing everywhere Iraq had to offer, but we didn't get stuck at the big army bases and have anyone yell at us. We were just rolling through all the coalition guys, and they didn't care about anything.
So did you see any difference in like the British and then and when us, like how the soldiers acted, or did they act the same? You know what I mean?
They, I will say, so a lot, there was junior enlisted and they're, non-commissioned officers, and I think they call them lieutenants, but they had a platoon leader, type. He wasn't a company commander. He was one step below. And,
so kind of same structure, just different
absolutely,
names.
yeah, same structure, a few different names, and their junior enlisted was the same as us. We all hated life.
Honorary
but the second, an NCO came around, we snapped to it. Looked like we were doing what we needed to do. But I'll tell you one thing about those guys. They are crazy.
Oh.
And when I say crazy, they're on Marine Corps level crazy, if not a little higher.
The British?
Yeah, man. Especially, maybe it was just these engineers. These engineers were from a historic unit.
Yeah.
And they were.
So they lived behind the patch, basically.
I think they lived up. They were doing everything they could to live up to this legacy, and they surpassed it, exceeded it. So what's interesting is,
could we take them though? Be tough.
I think we're a little more disciplined in our tactics. I think we're a little more tactically strong.
We're gonna go to war with them.
Because I think I don't know, but I'm saying I think we trained a little.
Did.
I think we got
your
them.
enemy, you know what I mean?
But they were a lot of fun. They were so much fun. They firmly believed in play work hard, play hard.
Yeah.
So when we got back from mission, we go on these 3 or 4 days, sometimes a week, and we do a small circle where we, set out the things, and then we'd have to come back, refit, get different equipment, and go back to all the points we had hit the first time, and each one we had to set up at for a minimum of 8 hours. So we'd go out 4 or 5 days the first time, set up, 12 or 15 points, and then the second time around, we'd have to go spend 8 hours at each point. And so that would take us generally 2.5-ish weeks that we were just out behind through the desert. So you gotta imagine we had to have all the equipment, fuel, food, water, everything for all these missions. But when we got back, we usually have, after the second round, we'd have about 4 days of reset. Those guys are allowed to drink.
Over there.
Yeah. We're not allowed to drink.
Or get caught. We're not allowed to get caught.
Yeah. I'm not going to say our lieutenant looked the other way, but we did happen to walk past the coalition
We're
bar
out now. Who cares?
and saw him sitting there. And
I tell you what, you want to hear a funny story? So on this semi truck that we put into our compound that had all the food, well, they had a bunch of near beer. Okay, do you know how many near beers it takes to get like even a buzz?
way too many.
Probably 25, and you can't pee.
Yeah.
Like 25 straight, and you can't pee, and you'll get a little buzz. Never tested the theory, but that's what they said.
You
But
never tested it?
No,
We
I
did.
had
It
to
was
pee.
near beer and cigars. That was our.
Yeah, I mean, we drink the near beers,
Yeah,
but I always had to pee. Like, it makes you pee just the same.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Um,
Especially when you're trying to pound them.
And you drinking.
man.
I mean, it seems like you're drinking beer, right? You're going through the motions.
Yeah,
you're having
yeah.
a good time, and you're like, acting a little nuts, and you're like, man, I'm not drunk. What am I doing? Like, why am I acting like this? So it's
It's everything you remember from back home.
It's just
yeah,
muscle memory.
that's what it is.
It's crazy. So that's why now I don't even drink, and I know I can have fun. I'm like,
Yeah.
just remember when you did drink and how much
Yeah.
fun you were. So I do, but yeah. I mean, there's some crappy times, but I mean, there's some great memories over there. And,
Oh yeah.
And the guys, just the who you serve with. That's a big.
Absolutely.
Everybody says it. There's no one closer. You'll never be close to those guys that you served with.
No.
Ever.
That's the best bond that I think can be created.
Yeah. I mean, but you have guys who have been through the situation and have
Mhm.
different stories and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
But it's different, like, because you tell your story. I mean, I don't connect with it.
Right.
'Cause
Like I wasn't there.
I wasn't there.
Yep.
But I respect it, and I'm like,
Absolutely.
I get it, man. And I can see the amount of love and trust you have in the people that served with you because of the
Absolutely.
stuff that you went through.
Yep.
So
Look
for
out
that,
for
I
each other
respect.
and
Yeah, for that I respect. But there's seasons in your life, and everybody goes through different seasons, right?
Yeah.
And that was a season in my life, and it was a great season. Like, I have great memories, but now this is my season, and now you
That's
got
a good way of putting it. I never thought about it. Like
yeah.
that
Now you
before.
got to find friends in this season,
Yeah.
right? Because I know it's lights
It's like
going.
they went down
whatever.
for a second.
Anyways, we're still here,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
but you find friends in this season and make the days go by a lot easier and stuff.
Absolutely.
So,
I think that brotherhood we have with Vet is very similar.
yeah, except for
to
John
what-
Burlew. Yeah, I think everybody else connects really well. I'm just kidding, Johnny.
We love you, John.
I love you, bud. Take your shirt off.
That's gonna be his new campaign poster.
I know.
I'm gonna
I'm gonna blow it
print
up.
it.
Do you know how
Just print yard signs.
somebody wore a tank top to one of the Coffee with Veterans with Spurrier's face on it as he was
Oh,
a
that
kid?
was
Michael
Pierre. Yeah.
yeah.
He
That's
was like
hilarious.
riding the little pony on a stick thing
Yeah.
or whatever. Yeah.
Guess he's going on my shirt, Burlew.
Oh. But yeah,
but no,
I
it's a
think
good
we've
group.
recreated that brotherhood that we've all
Yeah.
missed. Because you and I, when we first talked about Vet, that was one of the things. You've said it hundreds of times.
I wrote a song about it.
You did, yeah. Absolutely, you did.
It hasn't been released yet.
Working on it.
I'm working on it.
But definitely that mission.
Mhm.
We all get out and we all do different things. And I
Yep.
think all of us have really different jobs. So
Yeah.
that's kind of cool. We're all doing different things, but we can all come together for this mission and build that brotherhood back up. Because I don't know how it was for you, but when I got out of the military, I was lost.
Oh, I
man.
was too.
I didn't know what I wanted to be when I grew up. I was
Yep.
hardcore going to stay in for 20, 25 years, retire as a general or the president. I don't know what I was going for.
I
but-
got medically chaptered out, so it was kind of like here you are, civilian world, do the
It was
best
a punch
you
to
can.
the gut.
Yeah, and I was like, I was a recruiter, so I was like, I guess I'll go into sales. Like, I know how to talk to people
True.
and all this stuff. So I was like, so I went into car sales, and I loved it. I loved the high. It's a different drug when you're selling cars, and when you sell one, especially when you sell like 10 or you get to 20, and you're like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, but
Killing it.
more money. Like, give me money.
Yeah,
give me money.
yeah.
But it's not. I guess it is sustainable to some people. Like,
Yeah.
but for me, like that's not when I got out. I was like, I'm going to be a car salesman for the rest of my life, and that's what I
Right,
love
right.
to do. There's a lot of people who love to do it, and they're very good at it.
Yeah. Kudos to them.
To each his own. Yeah.
Yeah.
That wasn't my path, and I still, up until before I met you, I still didn't know what I wanted to do. Like, I worked at a cell phone place. Like, I
Yeah.
worked at a staffing agency, thinking, maybe that's kind of like the recruiting part.
Right, right.
But it just didn't fit with me. And even like I got a state job now. Like, I love it. I love helping.
Yeah.
But I didn't really feel fulfilled. Fulfilled.
Fulfilled. Fulfilled.
Whatever.
Fulfilled.
I didn't feel fulfilled.
We'll edit that
Until
out.
we got connected and we did this coffee with veterans.
Amen.
And the first one, it was like, yeah, this is
it.
This is what I'm doing.
Yeah.
This is what I've been waiting for. And just connecting with different people. I mean, we got old vets, old heads, like we like to call them, old
Yeah.
heads, and we got young ones.
Absolutely.
There was a couple people who just got out of boot camp.
Yep, came on the walk.
Yeah, and we were able to talk to them, be like, you're doing it wrong, right? Leave your
Sitting
socks
down too
on
much.
after
Oh, man, yeah.
you're not done walking yet.
They'll
You're
learn.
going to swell.
That's what we're here for.
Yeah, so, but I think that's, it might change, but I think that's where I need to be, and I think that's where I feel comfortable in being.
Absolutely.
Because the biggest thing is when you get out, your brothers ain't there anymore.
Exactly.
You're like, oh, what do I?
You got to
like,
forge your own path now.
Normally, I'd go to Hardy's room, right? Tom
Yeah.
Hardy. I would go to Hardy. His name was Tom Hardy, really,
Okay.
not the actor. I'd go to Hardy's room and just chill. Like,
Yeah.
if I didn't know what to do, I'd go to Hardy's room.
Yep.
Or I go to, somebody else's room,
And you'd always find something to do with a brother. No matter who it was,
Yeah.
you knew you had
Let's
that
go
anywhere.
get in trouble. Let's go
Yeah.
to the Outback.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll go to the Outback. Let's go
Yeah.
to the Chow. Let's go to,
Yep.
But
you could always find a brother, grab him, and go do something. It was almost like you had a whole bunch of brothers and sisters at your disposal.
yeah.
So you were never lonely.
Even
so
the
to
ones you
speak.
weren't close with.
Yeah.
like, hey,
We're in the same unit. I don't
You
really
wanna
talk
hang
to
out?
you. Yeah, I see you at the motor pool every Monday. But
Yeah.
hey, you want to go do something? No, sure, man. What are we doing? Let's
Yeah.
go. Let's go bowling.
let's
Just
go-
whatever.
Yeah, let's go connect.
And that's what it was for me when I got out of the
Let's go to-
military, and I came here. I was isolated. I was no friends, no family, didn't know anybody, didn't know what I wanted to be when I grew up. Like it was a tough time. And even I've just like you, I've had a few jobs in all that time, and I think what I'm doing now, like with you and I with the vet thing,
Yeah.
that's it. That's like I know deep down this is what I'm supposed to do. This is what I've been trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
And this is it. This is my purpose. This is my new mission that I can forge ahead. And I've said it before, but I'll say it again. To have you as a brother by my side, doing
I
this
love it.
together, that I couldn't be more grateful.
Yeah.
Honestly.
I feel the same way, man. Like, I didn't know, like, when you walked in, in the Buffalo Bills hoodie and hair, and I'm like, oh, my God, who invited that guy?
Some
But,
homeless guy walking in a VFW
I'm just
at
jealous
6 o'clock
because
at
I
night.
can't grow hair, and I hate everybody that has hair. So.
I get that a lot.
But no, it was just cool. And then after, I think the first couple ones, yeah, we went to the Legion, the third one, right?
Yep.
And I was like, man, I even told him, I'm like, this is getting big. I was like, we got to do something.
Yeah.
So that's where vet came in, ladies and gentlemen.
That's where the vet baby was born.
Veterans, and we're not even wearing our shirt.
Mine's still in the dirty clothes for Monday because I'm a responsible adult who
I got
does
your
laundry.
polo, too. So that's where vet came from. Veterans Empowered Together.
Yes.
And funny story. So I came up. I'm gonna take credit. I came up with the name,
Hands down.
and it wasn't just me. It was me and Sarah, my wife. We're sitting on the couch. I'm like, I want to do something abbreviated, like vets, VETS. Googled it. There's already vets out there. Shout out to you if you're watching. I don't know what you do, but I'm.
You can tell us.
Yeah, hopefully it's good
Yeah.
for veterans, or it might be for animals. I don't know, but so I looked up like, well, I can't do vets, so we did vet. So. We did the abbreviation game, like we did the V and the E and the T, and like, okay, that has to be veterans, right? The V.
Yep.
And then E and the T, and I mean, we sat here for 30 minutes, and we're just playing on words, and like, that sounds stupid. And like, no, I can't use that. And then finally, we came up with Veterans Empowered together, and we're like, hey, that might be something. That might be something. Then I created a logo and sent it out. Like, here it is.
Yep. And that was it. I don't think anyone.
There was no voting or anything. Like, that's it.
Like,
right
hey,
there.
this is it. And there's no one that is against it because it couldn't embody what we do in a better way. That middle, that E, empowered. That's you say because
empowered.
Yeah. No, I'm saying.
Say the whole word.
The veterans empowered together.
Veterans empowered together.
Because we always talk about. You're the one that's always saying like together we're better as a team.
Yeah. No, for sure. And it's kind of crazy how it came together and. I want to even say Sarah came up with the empowered part because there ain't no way I'm thinking those big words like that. I'm gonna be honest.
Well, she nailed it,
and I was like, "Oh, that's perfect. That's exactly what I've been trying to say."
And it's all part of our mission too. I mean, it could not describe us in a better way because we're, we've said it. We're our own separate entity. We don't have a brick and mortar location, but we're here for the other VSOs to help them. Not only are we there for those veterans in our community, but we're also here for our VSOs in the community.
Yeah, for sure.
So we're helping drive members. Everyone might fit in somewhere different, and as we know, we're kind of better known as bars in our town, and however they want to run things, we're not trying to tell them what to do.
Yeah.
But we do have those veterans that aren't comfortable with bars or being in a smoky room or late night
I'll tell
operations.
you what it is. Like veterans our age, around our age, have they have wife and kids like that are young, like little babies who headbutt concrete. We'll get into that. But they have kids, so they're not able to go out to the bars and hang out. And not that I don't drink, but I still go to the VFW because I love socializing. I love to sing. I love socializing and hanging out with people.
Yep. So
with creating this, we give an opportunity to not only come out and hang out with your brothers, you can bring your families because we're going to have our families there as well.
Exactly.
But it also gets you, if you're not connected with the VFW or the AMVETS or the Legion, like it gets you connected with them to get more connected with the community. You see what I'm saying? So right now there's, a bunch of old people and they're all great, love the stories they tell.
Oh, yeah.
But if we get more young people in there, that means more events that they can do. So that makes our VSOs a lot stronger.
Exactly.
And I think that is the center, right, is the VSOs and getting all of them connected. And then all these other little organizations, including VET, should be feeding into it.
Absolutely.
Right? And making it stronger, getting invested in them. Because I grew up as a military brat. My dad was in the military, and we hang out at AMVETS all the time.
Yeah.
I learned how to play darts there. I learned how to play pool. It was just fun. I loved to sing. They had karaoke there. I loved it. That's the first time I got on the stage with an AMVETS.
Nice.
And I was part of the son of AMVETS. But I felt like, I don't know, I just felt a certain way when I was there. And even at 12, I didn't drink at 12 either, weirdly enough. But I still had fun. So what I'm saying is you don't have to drink to have fun, guys.
Yeah.
And girls.
You don't have to.
But I will admit I did have some fun when I was drinking.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I think we all do.
But yeah, so that's the whole thing. We got a little kid over here.
Yep.
You're right. That's the whole thing with VET, and then we got so much good stuff coming out.
We do. I don't know how it feels for you, but man, we started with those couple coffee with veterans in the morning. Started with 12, 15 of us. Went up to 20, 25, 30, 40, 50. And then we had this event.
Yep.
And now we got the Friday after 5 thing coming up.
We had 40 people walking. A couple driving.
I cannot tell you how humbling that was.
It was amazing. It was amazing to see, like,
so last
from
year,
the outside looking.
I had 11 or 12. I think there was 12, including myself. We had 12 people start and finish. So at the end of the walk, I had 12 people. I might have had 50 down there for that ceremony, reading the names before we took a hike. And this year, the ceremony part, there was close to 100 people.
It was amazing.
I mean, that park was full.
Yeah.
And then when we stepped off for the walk with the large flag, you can see on the drone footage, everyone either had a hand on the flag. I mean, so in the past, it's been like, I need more bodies. Give me bodies to help carry this flag. This time, there were too many people to help carry this flag, so we had a group of people behind the flag.
I ended up walking in the middle. Like, I got ran out, and I'm like,
all right,
hold my hand up, just act like I'm doing something.
I'm a cheerleader now.
Yeah.
And then to start the actual 11-mile walk, so I'll say this, at the halfway point at my house, the picture, and there's roughly 45-ish. I think 43, but there might be a few hidden heads. So I just say 45-ish that had made it to the halfway point.
Yeah. And it was hot.
It was stupid
hot.
Stupid hot. That wind was
very
the
surprisingly.
Saving grace.
Bruce Pierce made it halfway, and I was like, bro, I should be walking.
Shout out to Bruce for that.
Shout out, Bruce. I don't know if he watched the
podcast. I joked with him about it that, he was showing the youngins. And when I say youngins, I'm a youngin to him.
Yeah.
And, and then we have 19-year-old kids with us. But he showed out.
He stayed up to the front.
Blew
he even
my
came
mind.
out to Buffalo Wild Wings.
Yep.
Hey, tell that story, Buffalo Wild Wings. Why we ended at Buffalo Wild Wings. This is an amazing story.
I get shivers thinking about it. So
shivered up, bud. This is for content.
So, for 9 years, I've been doing this walk as a solo project, and throughout the 9 years, on the anniversary of me losing a friend in Afghanistan or Iraq, I've always gone to a bar in my town, wrote their name, KIA date, and gone but never forgotten. That's been an every year thing, multiple times a year. I throw down a napkin, I throw a beer, I ask the bartender to leave the beer up all night.
We'll show a picture right here.
It gives people a chance. If they're coming into the bar, they come over, they read it, and they go, oh man, that's awesome. And they leave that space empty and reserved, and they know that someone in this town is connected to someone that didn't come home. So that's my way of having a beer with my, because I'll sit there and have a beer, and I do, cheers their glass every sip I take, and then I'm out of there, on to the next thing. And unbeknownst to me, for 9 years, there's been a manager, shout out to Betsy, there's been a manager that has been saving these napkins, or if the napkins were unsalvageable, she has taken a picture of the display on the bar. So I think it was 5 or 6 years ago that I happened to be walking down Fredica, and I thought to myself, this would be a great opportunity to walk in, write all of my friends' name on a napkin, set a big beer out, and then continue my journey. And I did just that. I'll never forget it. The bartender, I was writing the thing out. I got my beer. I went in there with my flag. I was wearing my rucksack. Ordered a water. They were like, oh, the beer and the water's on us. Because once they realized what the beer was for, they picked that up, which I'm grateful for. And but anyways, make a long story short, they've been doing this for years. I walked in this past Veterans Day, did a small walk because our parade was actually, we had the parade this year, but it was canceled last year because of COVID. I did a small walk, did an even smaller walk. I think I had 2 people with me this year, just shooting the shit the whole time, just being brothers, walking around being dumb. And afterwards, again, I went to B-Dubs, get some protein and a beer and relax. And I walked in, I'll never forget. Kayla, my fiance, went to go use the restroom. I was standing out there in the lobby holding the baby, and turned around, and there was this massive display in a picture frame with the pictures, an American flag, and the napkins, the original napkins that I wrote on. And the oldest one, I think, was 4 years old.
That's crazy.
And I lost my mind. And when I say lost my mind, I mean it was just waterworks. Because it took me a second. I spun around, saw the thing. I was like, that's cool. They had the reserved table and the whole, little thing about it. And then it hit me. I read them one name, and I was like, that's my buddy. And I was like, that's my handwriting. And then I read the other napkin, and I was like, oh, my goodness. These are my napkins. And then by the time Kayla came out of the bathroom, I was a blubbering mess. And
fetal position.
Yeah,
crying.
she's walks out to see me bawling my eyes out. She's like, "What's wrong with you?" And I couldn't even talk. I was just like, "Look over there," like nodded my head. So she's like, "Okay, yeah, cool, a display. That's good for them."
She didn't know it.
And then it hit her. It took a few seconds to smack her, and then she was like, "Oh my goodness!" So that night we asked who the manager was, and she told us she's a military brat herself. That's why she took it to heart. And again, unbeknownst to me, she's been saving these in her office. She made that display, puts it up every year on Veterans Day and Memorial Day, sets aside a table, reserve table for fallen and MIA, POWs, all that. And so I got with her this year. And because after Veterans Day, I was like, man, we got to help B-Dubs with something, or, just show them our appreciation. And so, yeah, we did the toast for the fallen. Afterwards, we did the nationwide taps on Memorial Day at 3 p.m. They quieted the music for us at the bar. And
that was pretty cool.
We played taps.
Yeah.
So they're real respectful of that. The manager that did this display, she came over, took a big picture, with the group and the display in the background. And so, again, shout out to Betsy and B-Dubs for doing that for years.
Thank you.
I'm glad I happened to walk in at the right day and just...
And she was off.
Yeah.
And she came in with her family.
Yep, she brought her family in to see us.
So that's pretty cool.
Thank us, and we thanked her, and everybody was thanking everybody.
Yeah, a lot of thanking going on.
Yes.
A lot of thinking. But, so that's kind of what we're about, is just getting connected and trying to fill that brotherhood void, which I think lacks in a lot of the younger veterans. Because once you get older, I mean, obviously your brothers die and pass away or move out or move on or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if you get used to it, because you don't get used to it, because I had a Vietnam vet on my podcast and wrote a poem about it, and he was like, I'd never forget my first brothers, you know what I mean? So you just never, I guess you just learn where you fit.
It's just something we dealt with in the military, because we were always moving to different bases, PCSing, and if you experienced combat or not, you may have lost a brother or sister close to you, and so I guess we're kind of used to being torn away from each other, and I think the vet really allows us to come back together, and it's a local thing. Yeah. So we're all close. We all have that common bond. We all served. And I love it. I'm so grateful for it. It's given me a new purpose and new motivation. And I love meeting people. And even when we went to that new VFW last month for Coffee with Veterans. Yeah,
in Hardinsburg.
That was your home turf.
Stopping ground, yeah. Yeah. Morris, I don't know what your title is. I'm sorry. He's like, man, I ain't seen you since you were Lucas. Morris Lucas. He's like, I ain't seen you since you were little. I'm like, that's crazy.
I'm a little bigger now, buddy.
I'm a big now. There's no meals. No, but it's cool, like just getting, and you know me, I don't care to get the accolades or anything. I just want it to mean something and be something for somebody. And I said it from the beginning. If it helps one person, then we've done our job.
Absolutely.
We've done our job no matter what we do.
Yep.
But we have some good events coming up for the local people. Friday after 5.
Yes.
For the not local people, Friday after 5 is like a block party they do all summer long. It's amazing. Look it up. But we are the main stage sponsor on July 1st. And they done messed up, Doc, and gave us full reign for a party.
Yeah, they did. There's no budget limits, no rules. No. They gave a bunch of veterans permission to do whatever we wanted.
They gave us the keys to throw a party. Friend, you done messed up, girl.
Thank you. We love you. But that was silly.
So, yeah, we're going to have the biggest party they ever seen.
We're going to have a shindig. We got the 101st Rock Band, is it?
101st Rock Band is going to come down. Still trying to get that flyover. No confirmation.
If anyone out there owns a helicopter and wants to fly over our river.
Fly. I think there's a commercial on WBKR. Robbie Lee, I think, has a helicopter or knows a guy. I don't know Robbie, though. I just heard his commercials.
Robbie. He has a commercial?
Yeah.
He's like, hey, man, I got a helicopter.
Roofing. No, it's nothing about a helicopter. I just know he owns one or knows somebody who does own one.
Okay.
And he's Robbie Lee. Shout out.
Let's get that helicopter, man.
He's not even going to watch this. Anyways, July 1st, Friday after 5. It's all about the veteran. I think it's called American
Spirit.
American Spirit. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah. It's good. Town's already going to be decked out for getting ready for July 4th. And so we're going to have, super patriotic. And then one of the cool things, and I hope we're getting traction with it.
Yeah.
But we're doing pictures. So their underlying theme was it
Picture
Then
This.
and Now? Or Picture This. There you go.
Yep.
So our idea was to have veterans submit pictures of them in service, with a uniform or doing whatever. And then what they look like today,
Yeah.
or a year or two, or whatever they're comfortable
So
with.
that
But
dad bod.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
it's basically a then and a now. So you get to see them in uniform and what they're doing now.
Yeah.
And I've already gotten some really, really cool pictures.
I've seen a couple of them as well.
Like guys marching in formation in the 40s and 50s, and then
That's crazy.
a picture of them older with their family. Like the person who submitted it.
You know
was
what it
like
reminds me of is Jamie Johnson song In Color.
in color. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're exactly right.
I love that
Because
song.
we definitely have some black and whites that were submitted.
Yeah, that's crazy. I say that's crazy a lot. I need to come up with
Man, that's crazy.
Amazing.
That's wild.
That's nuts. And then we have a military ball coming up in
Yes.
November.
Absolutely.
We're gonna get that pinned down. More details to follow on that one, but that's gonna be rad.
That's crazy.
Crazy, man.
No, I'm pretty stoked about that one because there's another organization that's been doing that for a couple
Yeah.
years, minus COVID, obviously. And
Well,
they
let's shout
kinda,
out Kathy and Tommy Mullins.
Yeah,
Their organization.
they have Kentucky Remembers and the
Kentucky Remembers.
Brandon Mullins Foundation.
Yep. They've been doing a lot of this stuff for a lot of years,
Yep.
and Kathy was like, "It's your turn to take the reins." So she is teaching, a very great teacher.
Yeah. We'll try
and-
not to mess it up.
Yeah, and helping us along. So I love them to death. But they might watch it. Tommy was on my podcast last year. He was talking about Brandon's story.
Yeah. Yeah.
We need to have him back on. You
I'd
know
say
what
so.
we need to do is have the whole vet crew
I was
on.
just about to say that.
That's gonna be crazy.
We gotta sit down here and have
Yeah.
a vet night. We can all
Oh man,
find somewhere and
that'd be so fun.
yeah.
You
That
should
would be
see
a
our
hot
group
mess.
chat. Again, sorry, Kathy.
Sorry, Kathy. We
She is
love
the
you.
only female on this group chat with a bunch of veterans.
And we forget. Sometimes things are said.
I'm gonna say it
But
again.
usually
It's
someone gets in
Burley.
there. And, yeah, it's
Burley
Burley
usually
every
forgets, and we have
Why,
to say
Burley?
female.
Yeah.
Female in the chat.
Time. Yeah. No respect.
No respect. Love you,
Oh
bud.
man,
That
that would be a wild show though.
it'd be fun.
We wouldn't get anything done. It would just be a hour long shoot
Picking
the
on
shit.
people.
Yeah.
Just picking
Yeah.
on each
Oh
other.
God, you'd see us when we get together. I mean, if you got veterans out there, they already know how it is. 'Cause I mean,
It's a good
immediately
fun.
without.
So if you want to join us and get made fun of,
come on,
it'll be
down.
just like the military. Come on down. It'll be fun.
You want to relive your glory days?
If you got a big forehead,
Well,
just know we're
We'll
going to
have
talk about it.
a smoke shack night.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
Oh
come on
my
down
gosh,
for
that'd
our
be so
smoke
fun.
shack session.
We'll have to get more cameras.
Yeah,
We'll get more
you can
cameras.
get the whole crew. Oh,
But yeah, man, I appreciate you being on.
I appreciate you having me, bro.
We didn't really have a direction tonight, so we just got on to
Wow.
talk about what we do and just talk about us.
Yeah.
Last week I talked about mental health, which is always important.
Always. Another reason why we do what we do.
Yeah, and that it all ties in together. I know mental health.
Ooh, what was that now?
Mental wellness was here way before I was, but I think it's becoming more vocal now. A
Yep.
lot of people, before, like if you said you had anxiety or panic, like it was almost a stigma and people would make fun of you or standoffish with you. But now, thanks to athletes coming out, it's a normalized thing.
It's getting there. I mean, there's still work to be done, but I mean, just a quick story. When I came home from Iraq, I was a young kid. So I was just 19 years old
Bro,
when I came
you were
home.
young the whole time you were in.
I was still young. But I
Kid.
mean, I was still, I mean, when you think about it, just
Yeah.
just a kid.
Yeah.
I mean, and I didn't know how to handle myself when I came home. The things I did and the things I saw.
Yeah.
And nothing can prepare you for it. I mean, the military is great. I have no qualms about my service. I'm proud of what I did. But when I came home, I did not know how to handle what I was going through in a healthy way.
Yeah.
And even back then, the Army didn't know how to take care of us.
Nope.
And if you it was at that time, if you were struggling, if you had alcohol or substance abuse issues, you were in trouble. You were
Yep.
getting Article 15s and possibly getting the boot. And it took until right before I went to Afghanistan because, I had my unhealthy coping mechanisms after Iraq and those, just roller coaster up and down. And then, of course, I'm go to a new unit, getting ready to go to Afghanistan, and just everything came flooding back. Everything I remembered, all the bad stuff, all the stress, the anxiety. So getting ready to go to Afghanistan, that was almost torture because it's just that remembrance of the train up to this, and now like I know what I'm getting myself into. But the second time around, I'm going out. I'm with infantry. I'm a line medic. I'm boots to the ground, kicking indoors with them, and way different than what I did the first time. So the second time around, I real scared and started falling into those unhealthy habits again. But it took one guy, one small conversation with me, off to the side, and I just told him what was up. So this is how I feel. This is why I feel this way, and what can we do because I didn't want to go to Afghanistan in a really bad mindset. Like I don't want to go there.
Oh no.
I mean, you can go there scared.
Because you're going to get there eventually anyways while you're over there.
Yeah. So in my mind, I was like, I need to get my head right. There's a lot of guys counting on me and my other medics, and we're all counting on each other. And, I can't be over there not pulling my weight and falling apart at the seams. And, that's the last thing they need from a doc. So, like I said, I had that conversation. I went to mental health because it was starting to be okay. You weren't going to get looked down upon by your chain of command for seeking mental health. So at that time, in those, was it 3 years, 05 to 08, it had much improved.
Yeah.
And then same thing when I came home from Afghanistan, it was like a whole different army. I mean, they were like, "Are you okay?
Yeah.
Are you okay?
Let's sit down and talk about it.
Are you sure you're okay? Come on, let's talk, buddy." And so it was wild because when I got home from Iraq, they were like, "Woohoo, welcome home."
Yeah. Now I will say this, and maybe our artillery was different, but when we got home, we had to go through this week-long processing, and we had to talk to a shrink, and they're like, "Tell us about your time over there."
Wow.
And at the time, I was like, "Man, nothing to tell,"
Yeah.
We went, we came back.
Yeah.
Like it was good.
Here we are.
And she's like, "Are you sure you're okay?" "Yeah, I'm fine." "Okay." She checked the box and walked out. And at the time, I was fine. Like I didn't know I wasn't fine, but hindsight. Like I was a kid, and I witnessed what I just witnessed, and I come back to Oklahoma of all places, and I'm like walking in a Walmart or whatever, and looking at people like, "You ain't nothing."
Yeah.
"You ain't nothing." Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, because of when you're over there, like, you're the top dog.
Yeah.
Over there.
And you're constantly assessing.
And you're constantly looking at people like, I can take him. This is where he's at. If this goes on, this is what I can do.
Oop, he looks a little sketchy.
So now I go to Walmart, and I'm doing the same thing. Like, okay, that checker over there is looking at me. I'll take him out. And then, Just
I'm going down the list.
Painting targets on everybody in there. Like, if this goes down, I got 5 at least before they touch me kind of thing. But it's not a good place to be.
No.
Mentally. Now I don't do that. I still check my surroundings, and I'm okay, if stuff goes down, I got to grab my kids and get out. Like, I ain't tapping anybody's head right now. But
we're not living like we lived over there.
No.
I think.
Could you imagine if we had to go to Iraq or Afghanistan right now? Our mental state, not our body. Don't look at my belly and be like, "You ain't going to make it." I know. I know I won't.
I think now that we've each experienced it, I mean, we do have our families, and that's
that's the hardest part. I didn't have a family. Well, I had my mom and dad, but
when I went to Iraq, I didn't have anyone. I had mom and dad.
I didn't have anyone.
Yeah.
Like I was okay,
kids.
like to go and
sure.
I didn't know what I didn't know.
I think now though,
but now I got like my wife and 2 kids. I'm like, I can't.
You got the house, the wife, the kid. It's a double-edged sword for me because I think that will constantly be in the back of my mind. Like, oh man, I can't get too crazy. But I think also
like a driving force.
Yeah, but then I think also it would be I need to go here and get them all
knock it out,
and get home real quick. Like, let me hurry up and knock this out. Like
I'm also 41, so I'm like,
I'm getting there.
I lose breath putting on socks, so
it's okay today. I can't even bend over to put on socks.
There's that. But no, I appreciate it. Appreciate you guys.
Absolutely. Thank you for
if
watching.
You stayed this
listening.
long.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And you're amazing. And I'm gonna leave you with this. What, do you have any closing statements before I leave them with my knowledge?
I was just going to say, we've been talking about VET. You can check us out on Facebook.
Yep.
VET, it's VET, V-E-T, but period. V period, E period, T period.
Oh, that's the song.
It comes up on Facebook, both a page and a group. Join it. Even if you're not local, join it, man.
Join it.
For brothers and sisters, you can see what we're doing here in our town. You can be a part of the movement. And eventually, I think we talked about this before, we'd like to have chapters in other places besides Owensboro. So If even if you maybe want to start your own Coffee with Veterans events once a month, wherever you're at, let us know, man. We'd be happy to help, and it's not as hard as you think to set it up. So, love you guys. Thank you for watching and listening.
Love each other. Hey, if you need help, if you need somebody to talk to, reach out. We'll talk to you. I just broke my mic. Reach out and we'll talk to you. Because you don't want to keep it in. That's the worst thing you can do is keep something in. If you have seen us around or seen our events on Facebook and you didn't know what it's about, come check it out. It's nothing but coffee, donuts, and sitting around and talking.
Just like we did tonight.
Just like we did
Only
tonight.
we do it in the morning.
If you want to share your story, share your story. If you don't.
Yep.
You know, we all got similar stories. We've all been through some stuff that we don't want to talk about, not comfortable talking about yet. So just come out there and just talk. I mean, just hang out. Just listen.
Just be around your fellow brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
I think that's important because too many vets our age are kind of sitting home alone. I get it, like you touched on.
Yeah.
Everyone's busy, family, kids, baseball games, different events for the kids, different events for themselves. And we forget to take that time for ourselves. And if you're at home and you haven't met up with a local veteran or you haven't reached out to your friends that are states away or worlds away, come join us for our coffee event.
We said it last week. If you're struggling, that means your marriage is struggling. That means your family time is struggling.
Yeah.
And your wife or your husband, whichever way, if you tell them, like, hey, I got a bunch of guys that I'm going to go hang out and talk with, there's no way they're going to shoot that down because you're just trying to better yourself. Yep. So keep up, stay up. If you need help, let us know.
Absolutely.
God bless you guys.
Love you guys.
You are forgiven soldier.